Narasimha. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, you can start.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Welcome all the devotees to morning's Japa session and Bhagavatam class. I thank all the devotees who have nicely done their services today on behalf of my leader. बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी यमुना वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय प्रभुपद प्रभुपद जय प्रभुपद Hare Krishna. Yes, so now let us start this short Srimad Bhagavatam class. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshva Bhatreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Hare Krishna. So, Shloka, today we are discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, second canto, second chapter, Shloka number 37, which is the last shloka for this chapter. So, let us read the verse once. पिबन्ति ये भगवता आत्मनः सतां कथामृतं श्रवणपुटेषु संवृतं पुनन्ति ते विषयविदूषिताशयं व्रजन्ति तच्चरणसरोहुरान्तिकम्. Hare Krishna. So the translation is like this. Those who drink through oral reception, fully filled with the nectarian message of Lord Krishna, the beloved of devotees, purify the polluted aim of life known as material enjoyment, and thus go back to Godhead, to the lotus feet of Him, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Uh, Maybe you can read the purport, please. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Purport. The sufferings of human society are due to a polluted aim of life, namely lording it over the material resources. The more human society engages in the exploitation of undeveloped material resources for sense gratification, the more it will be entrapped by the illusory material energy of the Lord. And thus, the distress of the world will be intensified instead of diminished. The human necessities of life are fully supplied by the Lord in the shape of food grains, milk, fruit, wood, stone, sugar, silk, jewels, cotton, salt, water, vegetables, etc. in sufficient quantity to feed and care for the human race of the world as well as the living beings on each and every planet within the universe. The supply source is complete and only a little energy by the human being is required to get his necessities into proper channel. There is no need of machines and tools or huge steel plants for artificially creating comforts of life. Life is never made comfortable by artificial needs, but by plain living and high thinking. The highest perfectional thinking for human society is suggested here by Srila Shukadev Goswami, namely sufficiently hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. For men in this age of Kali, when they have lost the perfect vision of life, this Srimad Bhagavatam is the torchlight by which to see the real path. Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada has commented on the Kathamrita mentioned in this verse and has indicated Srimad Bhagavatam to be the nectarian message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By sufficient hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam, the polluted aim of life, namely lording it over matter, will subside, and the people in general in all parts of the world will be able to live a peaceful life of knowledge and bliss. For a pure devotee of the Lord, any topics in relation with his name, fame, quality, entourage, etc., are all pleasing, and because such topics have been approved by great devotees like Narada, Hanuman, Nanda Maharaj, and other inhabitants of Vrindavana, certainly such messages are transcendental and pleasing to the heart. And by the constant hearing of the messages of Bhagavad Gita and later of Srimad Bhagavatam, one is assured herein by Srila Shukadev Goswami that he will reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead and render him transcendental loving service in the spiritual planet of the name Goloka Vrindavana, which resembles huge lotus flower. Thus, by the process of bhakti yoga, directly accepted as suggested in this verse, by sufficient hearing of transcendental message of the Lord, the material contamination is directly eliminated without once attempting to contemplate the impersonal Virat conception of the Lord. And by practicing bhakti yoga, if the performer is not purified from material contamination, he must be a pseudo devotee. For such an impostor, there is no remedy for being freed from the material entanglement. So, thus ends the Bhakti purports of second canto, second chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Lord in the Heart. Hare Krishna. So, Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Hare Krishna. Yes. So I'll just read the translation again. Those who drink through oral reception, fully filled with the nectarian message of Lord Krishna, the beloved of devotees, purify the polluted aim of life known as material enjoyment, and thus go back to Godhead, to the lotus feet of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yes. So going back to the Supreme Personality of Godhead also means no sufferings, right? So here, Parikshit Maharaj had asked Srila Shukadev Goswami about what a person should do when he is on the deathbed, right? When he is about to die, what he should do. So, Srila Shukadev Goswami explained, has been explaining so many things from first chapter of second canto for this question. In the first chapter, he says about knowledge by which one can attain the Brahman realization of the Supreme Lord. And here, the as the chapter name suggests, the Lord in the heart, right? That means Paramatma, right? So Paramatma in the heart, that is what we see, na? Paramatma is there. So this chapter is about how to realize Paramatma. That is through yoga, right? Through meditating, that too upon the Supreme Lord. Here, Virat Rupa was also indicated in the previous verses. For those who are unable to meditate upon the real form of the Lord, for them, Virat Rupa is indicated. Hmm? Or those who are still in the initial stages of meditation, for them, Virat Rupa is indicated. By doing that, once they get fixed upon the upon that Virat Rupa, they'll be able to realize Paramatma realization. Okay, so here at last, at the end, Srila Shukdev Goswami is mentioning how to um, reach the Lord's feet of the Lord. And Srila Prabhupada also mentioned in his purport that, yes, thus by the process of Bhakti Yoga directly accepted, as suggested in this verse, by sufficiently hearing of the transcendental message of the Lord, directly the material contamination is eliminated without one's attempting to contemplate the impersonal Virat conception of the Lord. So, this is what Srila Prabhupada is mentioning here. That this verse gives us a direct way of approaching Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? Through Bhakti Yoga. So, how one can approach? We all have heard so many times about Shravanam, which is a very important anga of Bhakti Yoga. So, Shravanam, that means hearing. Hearing of the name, fame, pastimes, qualities of the Supreme Lord. Hmm. So, that is very important. And we all know that there is a verse, Sevon Mukehi Jifvadav, right? So that means one should hear properly the Supreme Personality of Godhead's names, right? When we chant, we also hear. That is very important, hearing. So Shravanam is the first step. One will start doing devotion, and that is very very much powerful also, Shravanam, that alone it is able to take us go back home, back to Godhead. Hmm. That is what here Srila Shukadeva Goswami is also telling, to all of us. See, those who drink through oral reception, right, what will happen? Purify the polluted aim of life, of known as material enjoyment, and go back to Godhead. So, what is this polluted aim of life? This material enjoyment. It comes due to the ego factor, you can say. That means I am the lord of this universe, or whatever we have in the small amounts. We try to lord it over the material nature. That is what creates um, all kind of distress. Generally, making many comfortable things, we try to exploit the nature. People try to exploit the nature and try to make themselves comfortable, right? So there are so many things which are happening. If we see natural disaster wise, if we see, so many things are happening. People are becoming very greedy, so they want so much. They're not satisfied with minimal amount. So because they want to be the supreme thing like that, they want to enjoy to their fullest. So they are hoarding so many things which are given by nature. Hmm. Whether in this case it even now, right? Even now there is a scarcity of so many things, grains and milk, or other things also. That is because of the greed of human beings, right? So Srila Prabhupada explains it very beautifully. Mm, The more human society engages in exploitation of undeveloped material resources for sense gratification, the more it will be entrapped by illusory material energy of the Lord. And thus the distress of the world will be intensified instead of diminished. So people have mined the earth from so many years, right? For so many things like the ornaments, the jewels, right? Or even oil, petrol, diesel. uh, LPG, everything they have taken from the earth in larger quantities. And there for too long, especially in a society where there is no Krishna consciousness. Hmm? So, where there is Krishna consciousness, it's a different thing because there will be no self swartha, right? So, there will be no swartha. So, Earth itself tries to give so many resources. But here, where there is full of greed, people are full of greed, Earth does not produce more. Mhm. So Earth does not produce more. So now what happens is people start utilizing all the things which is there. Even they cross the limits, uh, and they start exploiting the material nature. They start lording it over the material nature. And this, of course, does not bring peace to the society. It definitely brings distress to the society, in the form of natural disasters, wars, and diseases. So many things are there. Hmm. So the nature does not sometimes gives direct or individual sufferings, and sometimes gives collective sufferings. The collective sufferings which we are seeing, Srila Prabhupada many times mentioned that the wars are due to killing of animals in the slaughterhouses. Why they have to kill the animals, right? There are so many things which are available. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, see, in the shape of food grains, milk, fruit, wood, stone, sugar, silk, jewels, cotton, salt, water, vegetables, everything is already there. We don't have to do anything. Hmm? But still, because they they are like too much sense gratifying tendency which people have, that is making them go towards animals, go towards eating animals, that is slaughtering houses, or they are exploiting more, they are mining more, they are cutting the trees more. Because agriculture doesn't need cutting of trees, but agriculture in a larger scale needs cutting of trees. When people have their own land and they cultivate on their own for themselves, mm, and they have one cow which will give milk. From that they can make curd, butter, and ghee. Mm. By that ghee they can make yajnas, right? That yajna is enough to nurture all those plants in the form of rain. Mm. So it is a self um, self maintaining, self sustaining system, which is being told here. Simple living and high thinking, you know. So, simple living, without any much complications, one has to live, and one has to think highly. What is the meaning of thinking highly? This oral reception. That is reception of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is filled with the pastimes of the Lord, pastimes of the devotees of the Lord in connection with the Lord. So, like that, it is so beautiful to know how the Lord reciprocates with his devotees, how the devotees express their love towards their dear one, the personality, supreme personality of Godhead. So, all these things are there in this Srimad Bhagavatam, and by hearing it constantly, what happens is one's heart gets purified. We also say this, right? Nashta prayeshu abhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya, bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki. A strong devotion what develops in the heart of a person who hears Srimad Bhagavatam every day, right? Whether it is any kind of day. good day, bad day, any kind of day, one who hears every day this Srimad Bhagavatam respectfully, what happens is he gets a strengthened devotion in his heart towards the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, one thing which mainly we have to see in this verse is Srila Prabhupada had mentioned that his 50% of the work was incomplete. And devotees might be knowing what it is. It is the formation of Varna Shrama communities, farm communities. Farm communities are very much important in this age of Kali Yuga, especially during these days, because people are not getting sufficient food to eat. Hmm. So that's really pathetic. One has to grow his own food. Then he does not have to depend upon the food. Or also, there is no much salaries which are being given, which can maintain the present life. Hmm. Because all the items have raised, right? All the prices of items have raised, and the salary which one is getting might not be enough to buy all that. For that, he will have to work for more hours, right? Which is really hectic, and one doesn't have even a little bit time to do devotion. Mm. Or for a sane man or a normal man who is not interested in devotion, he also does not have time to enjoy his life. What is the use, right? They gain very much amount of money and they spend it over hospitals. That's all. Hmm? Hospitals are getting more income just because one is like, that's all, right? Whatever they earn, one or the other way to a hospital, they'll give it away. Some or the other diseases will come. So these diseases and the sufferings which one is suffering, one has to understand that it is due to lacking of Krishna consciousness, lacking of God consciousness. That is the only reason why one is suffering. There is no other reason. Hmm. Because one does not know that he belongs to Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his real work is to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He starts engaging in different other activities which are not pleasing to the soul. And when one is disconnected with the Lord, of course, he is gonna be fully in distress. Hmm. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned in the quote, today's quote also very nicely matching with this thing. No, we act according to our whims, and the resultant action is immediately there. Nature's law, God's law is there. It is not God's creation that somebody is suffering from some painful condition and somebody is enjoying. No, we infect ourselves with some contamination because this material world is full of contamination. You must remain very cautious, otherwise, you will have to suffer. So, it's in Mayapur, um, March 19, 1976. So, yes, Srila Prabhupada is mentioning very nicely that because of our own whims, we create our sufferings. So, whims, acting according to whims means going away from Krishna, not following the orders of Krishna. If we follow the orders of Krishna, we are in connection with Krishna. If we do not follow the orders of Krishna, then we are not in connection with Krishna, which implies we are in connection with material nature. Hmm? So, any one is possible. Either we be with Krishna. If we are not with Krishna, we are in Maya. That's it. So, with Krishna also means following Guru's orders. That is also included here. So, yeah, Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhupada has mentioned that Kathamritam, that indicates Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam has the stories, the pastimes of Lord as well as the devotees. Mm. So it's really nice to see that both of these pastimes, when heard properly or when heard constantly, they very easily, purify us of material contamination. Mm. Sometimes it is said that the devotees are more merciful than Lord. Mm. So the devotees' pastimes are more uh, powerful, we can say. Mm. When one hears um the pastimes of Srila Prabhupada and all the other acharyas whom we see in our Guru Parampara, or many other devotees who are present in Srimad Bhagavatam. When we follow in their footsteps, when we try to follow their instructions, then magic happens. Mm. Any kind of person, there is no person in this world who, after hearing about the devotees, they will get spiritual benefit and they will come back to Krishna. That is power of devotees pastimes, pure devotees pastimes. They say na that uh, अल्प even lavamatra sadhu sange sarva siddhi hoy. A little bit, even alpa pramana of sadhu sangha, if one gets pure devotee association, if one gets, he will be purified completely. Sarva siddhi hoya, all the siddhis will become manifest. See, so that is the power of devotees. There is a kirtan which says about the devotees of the Lord, mm, Vaishnava, about Vaishnava, that if one takes dip in Ganga, right? If one takes dip in Ganga, he gets purified. Okay, but just by seeing a devotee, just darshan of devotee will purify oneself completely. Gangara parasha hoilo paschate pavan. Tomara they say, Darshane Pavitra Koro, ei Tomara Gun. Hmm. That is a Vaishnava, that is a devotee. It's very beautiful to know that when we hear the pastimes of devotees, it is even more faster in purifying. Hmm. So, that is the mercy of devotees, which is more and more strong. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is in a devotee form of Lord, right? He is giving this Shravanam and Kirtanam, especially the Sankirtana. Hmm. This Sankirtana, when we do, there are um, so many people and animals which are getting delivered when we do this Nagar Sankirtan uh, or any other form of Sankirtan. Even preaching is also a form of Sankirtan. Hmm? Right? So, like this book distribution is also a part of Sankirtan. So, all these are meant to deliver the whole world. And the devotee form of the Lord is more merciful, right? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is more merciful. And more than Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityananda Prabhu is more merciful because he is the servant form of the Supreme Lord. He's even more merciful. And Nityananda Prabhu's kripa is being delivered to the whole world. Uh, had they been delivered by Srila Prabhupada and his disciples, wonderful disciples. So, of course, they are more merciful, right? So, they are reaching towards us. They are personally helping us grow, right? By their books, by their blessings, by their instructions. So, all glories to Srila Prabhupada and his wonderful disciples, and all the acharyas of Guru Parampara, and all our Shiksha Gurus who are also helping us throughout in this journey of Bhakti Yoga towards Krishna. So, yes, Hare Krishna. Here I stop. If I have done any mistakes, it's only due to my conditioning. So I request apology from all Vaishnavas here. And anything good you have got, it's only because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy, Guru Parampara, and Guru Maharaj's mercy on all Vaishnavas' blessings. Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad.
Hare Krishna, Vijeta Mataji. Thank you very much for
Hare
your nice narration on this last verse of the chapter. So I think Veda Mataji is ready for translation, Kannada. Maybe afterwards I can share key points. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Dhanavad Pranam Mataji.